So today I'm going to do my physical TBR sort of roundup. I have been asked to do this type of video. I've been wanting to do it for a while, but honestly I just haven't really found the time to do it. But now I'm here, so we're in front of my shelf. I only have one shelf. I have one bookshelf. I think I have plenty of books, so it's fine with me. Obviously I've started to build my collection, so we'll see how it looks in like a year, but I have no plans to buy any more bookshelves. I do have an awful ton of books. There's like the top shelves and then they kind of go down. We're gonna go through them row by row, go through all the books on my physical TBR, and yeah, I'll just take you along if you're interested. All right, so before we get started, I mean, this is a book that I'm currently reading right now, Cleopatra and Frankenstein by Coco Mellors. I'm pretty much halfway through. I'm in a doing it through a vlog. So wanted to just share this because at this point, obviously I haven't read the full book. This one's also not on my shelves. This is Goddess of the River by Vaishnavi Patel. Hopefully I haven't butchered it too much, but I'm sure I have. This is going to be the next book that I read. That's why it's not on my shelves. So still part of my physical TBR, I just haven't read it yet. Okay, so I do try to alphabetize my shelves. That's how I organize them. But this top shelf here has all of the hardbacks that I can fit. I do have hardbacks throughout my other shelves because I am running out of space. So I've been trying to read as many hardbacks as possible recently because obviously I get Illumicrate and Fairy Loot and they're always hardbacks. So I'm just getting a little bit inundated with hardbacks at the moment. So the first one here is Fathom Folk by Eliza Chan. Have not read this, obviously. Really, really beautiful. This is from Illumicrate, and yeah, I think I spoke about it in my recent mid-year freakout tab because I do think it's really pretty. It's like the prettiest book that I have. But that one is the first one here. Then we have Voyage of the Damned by FrancesYT. Don't know anything about this, but again, I got this in Illumicrate. Darker by 4 by June C.L. Tan. This is a Fairy Loot edition. Again, I don't really know anything about this. Then we have The City of Stardust by Georgia Summers. This one is a Fairy Loot edition. This came out, I think this was one of their winter ones because it's kind of a wintry book. After the Farce by Kel Woods. This is a very small book, but it's a chunky book. And I still haven't gone into it. This one came in an Illumicrate. Then we have A Father So Black by Lyra Celine. This one is a Fairy Loot. Okay, then I have To Gaze Upon Wicked Gods. I do think this is one of the books that people had issues with. I think it's about colonization, and I saw a lot of videos talking about this book. So I was really surprised that we got it in Illumicrate. So I don't know how I'm going to feel about this, but it's by Molly and X Chang, and yeah, I vaguely kind of know what it's about, but I'm surprised that we got it. Then I have To Cage a God by Elizabeth May. This one came, where did this one come from? This one's from Illumicrate. They're so gorgeous, these books. They really are. They put so much effort, but again, I don't know anything about any of these books. Then I have The God and the Gummith. This is by Sophie Kim. Again, this is a Fairy Loot. Then I have The Principle of Moments by Esme Jikimi Pearson. Again, I'm butchering all of these names. This is Illumicrate. This looks fun. You know, a lot of these look really fun to read, but I just haven't got into them. Next up, we have What the River Knows by Isabel Ibanez. This one was a Fairy Loot. Then I have Of Jade and Dragons by Amber Chen. This one is an Illumicrate. I've got The Temptation of Magic by Megan Scott. This one came in Fairy Loot. I thought for a Fairy Loot book, this was very boring looking. I don't know if anyone else agrees, but this just seemed so boring. Then I've got The Hurricane Wars by Thea Gunson, yeah, and this is a Fairy Loot. Again, butchered the author's name, so I do apologize. I've seen some mixed reviews on this, so I'm not like super eager to read it. Then I have Feybound by Sarah El Arafi. I think quite a few people like this book. This is Fairy Loot. This again is such a gorgeous looking book. So I definitely want to get my hands on it and read it, because as much as books can be very pretty, I'm more interested in what is inside. I've got The Crimson Moth by Kristen Ciccarelli. This one came in Fairy Loot. A lot of people are saying this is really good. a really good romanticy book, so I'm excited. Then I have my only Cassandra Clare book, The Sword Catcher. This one came in Fairy Loot, an absolutely huge monster of a book. Kind of worries me and scares me how big this book is. I've heard a lot of things about Cassandra Clare, you know, the same way that people talk about Sarah J. Maas, you know, so I'm not familiar with her writing, so I don't know how that's going to be. Then this is the only one up here that's not from Fairy Loot or Illumicrate, but I did buy this myself. This is The List by Yomi Adegoke. Oh my gosh, I'm so bad, I'm sorry. This one I thought was really kind of interesting, but then ever since I bought it, I think the reviews have been really bad, so I've been not wanting to read it so much, but I will be reading all of these books, don't worry. All right, so on this shelf, we do have some read books along with some unread books, so I will just try to get through them. So this one is The Nesting by C.J. Cook. It's like a spooky, scary Norse mythology type style, like horror book, so I'm excited to read this one. Then we've got The Whispering Dark by Kelly Andrew, Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte, The Atlas Six by Olivia Blake. I've never read anything from them, and I've heard mixed reviews about this, so I have not been like chasing to read it, to be fair, since I bought it. When Women Were Dragons by Kelly Barnhill. I definitely want to read this. Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. So many mixed reviews. People love this, people don't love it. Obviously there is the second book as well. I will get into it, I just don't know if I'm going to love it or not. Then I've got Garden Spells by Sarah Addison Allen. I've got The Karamov Brothers by Fyodor Dostoevsky. My dad told me to read this, so we'll see if I can do that. He's one of these classics that, yeah, I'll see if I ever get to it. Then I've got Bitter Thorn by Kat Dunn. I think this is Sapphic. I kind of confused this with Belladonna, but I think this is the one that's Sapphic. It's like a retelling, but it's like a gothic tale, but it's with a twist. So I haven't read it yet, so we'll see. I've got Foul Lady Fortune by Chloe Gong. I don't think I'm gonna like this because I think it's dark romance. So I've been putting off trying to get into it, but maybe I will like it. I've got The Paris Apartment by Lucy Foley, Birdsong by Sebastian Faulks. My mother told me to read this. She said it was very sad, but very good. And then I have Leech by Hiron Ennis. Everything else on here I've already read, so this is the last one. But this one I definitely want to read. I've heard some good things since I bought it. It's one of those ones that I want to read like during spooky season. All right, so again, here I have some mix between read and unread. Straight away, you can see I do have some hardbacks because I can't fit them on my top shelf. So I've got The Honey Witch by Sydney J. Shields. I'm really excited about this one. Obviously, got it in I got it in Fairy Loot and I wasn't expecting it. So very excited that it came through there. Another one that I got was The Darkness Within Us by Trisha Levenseller. I think this is like a sequel or like a companion book to another book, which I haven't read the other books. I'm not entirely sure if I kind of want to get into this. I don't really know, but this was also in Fairy Loot. All right, so I did try to read this book here, but I haven't completed it. The Nature of Witches by Rachel Griffin. I basically soft DNF'd it late last year. I only got a little bit into it and then I was just not feeling it, but it's a lovely floppy book and I do want to get back into it. Then we've got The Four Winds by Kristen Hanna. All right, so I do have most of the All Souls books here. I have read the first one, A Discovery of Witches by Deborah Harkness, but then I have Shadow of Night. I've got The Book of Life, and then I have Times Convert, and I think there is also like a fifth one that's come out. But I have to be honest with you, I didn't really enjoy the first one. So I bought all these books thinking I was really, really gonna love it, and I didn't really love it. So I don't know, I'm kind of debating on what to do with them. I don't want to get rid of them. Maybe they'll get better, so we'll see. Okay, next up I've got My Best Friend's Exorcism by Grady Hendrix. Never read anything from them, so this will be my first sort of read, and I just thought the book looked so fun. It's obviously like 80s style, and I'm hoping to enjoy it. So yeah, I've got this one for spooky season. I've got The Family Remains by Lisa Jewell. My mom actually brought this with her last year when they came to visit, and I still haven't read it. Then I've got The Accidental Further Adventures of the 100-Year-Old Man by Jonah Jonasson. So I've already read The Prophet and the Idiot by Jonah Jonasson. This I picked up in the charity store, and actually I didn't realize when I bought it, but it's a sequel, so I haven't read the first one of the 100-Year-Old Man sort of adventure, so I don't know, it might be one that I have to just like get rid of at some point. I've got God Killer by Hannah Kaner, so I bought this and then I I don't think people like the second book, so do I really want to start another series? And then I've got Nettle and Bone by Teen Kingfisher, and I haven't read this yet, but excited to do so. And then again, all the other books that I haven't spoken about, I've already read them. All right, so we're getting down here. Again, this is a mix of a lot of books that I've read and haven't read. So the first one here I have not read is Under the Whispering Door by T.J. Klune. I haven't read Songbirds by Christy Lefterribe, although I did read The Beekeeper of Aleppo last year and I loved it. So I'm excited to get into this one. Started reading this last year, but it was a softie and out. This is The Second Sight of Zachary Cloudsley by Sean Lusk. I just wasn't in the mood. I think I was just in a terrible like reading slump, so I'll definitely try to read that again. I've read all of The Throne of Glass, and I've also read all of these ACOTAR books, so that's it from this shelf. Okay, next up we've got The Whistling by Rebecca Netley, Songs of Achilles by Madeline Miller, A Court of Silver Flames by Sarah J Maas. So this obviously is the last one in the ACOTAR series and I still have not read it. And I have not read House of Sky and Breath by Sarah J Maas. I have recently read the first one of this book though. Then I've got Hex by Thomas Auld Hewbolt. I really enjoyed Echo, so I'm excited to get into this year. Did try to read it the end of last year, but I had to softie enough it. I just wasn't in the mood at that point. I'm sorry, I moved you a little bit so I could sit down so it's easier because we're right on the floor here. Okay, so I have the Lucy Score sort of these series here. I read this, Things We Never Got Over, really did not like it. But then I have Things We Left Behind and Things We Hide from the Light, which kind of follows the series, but I'm really not looking forward to reading those. Did not enjoy it. Then I have The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston. I have read The Dead Romantics and I quite enjoyed it, so I'm excited to see how this is. Got The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkin Reid, The Lost Apothecary by Sarah Penner, and Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens. I've got A Study in Drowning by Ava Reid. This one came from Illumicrate. Okay, and now we're down on the floor, so I'm sorry that it's dusty, but it just is, okay? So I have all of these series from Elsie Silver. I've read Flawless and Reckless, but I have Powerless and Heartless. I really didn't like Flawless and Reckless, so I'm not looking forward to reading these either. I've got 2 from V. Schwab. I've got The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, and I have Gallant. I've got The Daughter of the Moon Goddess by Sue Lynn Tan. This one I also softie enough that I started reading it. Just didn't get very far, so I will come back to this. I've got There's No Such Thing as an Easy Job by Kikiko Sumura. Again, this was a soft DNF. I think I read like 15 pages and I was like, not right now, but maybe later. I've got The 7 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle by Stuart Turton, The It Girl by Ruth Ware, Project Hail Mary by Andy Ware, 7 Days in June by Tia Williams, which I'm really excited to read, The Lost Bookshop by Evie Woods. Again, this is one that I started, but I softie enough to only read like 10 pages. Okay guys, so those are all the books on my physical TBR. There are 71 of them, including the 2 books that I'm currently, well, I haven't started reading this one, but I'm reading this one, and so I'm excited to get through it. If you don't count these 2, which I hope to read this week, then there are 69 books on my physical shelves that I need to get through, but it's not like, it's fine because I don't have tons of, I don't really listen to audiobooks, so I'm just trying to get through my shelves. I'm really enjoying it. I did just buy a bunch of books though that are going to be coming next week. I haven't bought any books since January, so I feel like I just got some itchy feet and it was Prime Day. There were some on sale, so I just thought, okay, fine, I'll get some. So this will kind of grow, but I'm also trying to whittle it down at the same time. And I have been finding some hidden gems, I have to say. I've been finding some really nice 5-star reads recently. And I've just been picking randomly, so I think it's going really well. But yeah, if you have any thoughts on some of the books that I have, if there's any that you hated and you don't think I should read, let me know. Likewise, if there's any that you love and you think I should read next, let me know as well. But thank you so much for watching if you did. And yeah, like and subscribe if you'd like to, and I'll see you next time. Bye.